It's hard to describe, but it's like a bad movie watching Congress take to the TV. And it's so interesting to me to think about these guys and I mean, it almost makes you, when you watch them get on there and they're performing and doing that kind of stuff, just trying to get to the microphone, you say to yourself, how these guys get elected? Okay. How these guys get elected, you know? And, but anyway, it's almost better to wait until it's done. They're going to pass this budget. The question is, and you got to look at it from a big picture thing, is that, uh, my analysis is it's, it's, it's just amazing to watch. I don't know. It's like a bad movie. Anyway, the market was selling pretty high, and then all of a sudden, I guess around 1:30 and all, that the market turned south, and I thought they said it was because of they said it was because of the bond market, but I'm not worried about the bonds because we got Scott Bessent. They had a bad auction, obviously, but Scott Bessent will do his number. But I think the real issue is just watching these people perform. I'm telling you, I don't know how they get votes. That's my opinion. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but um, that makes everybody nervous when they see these guys. They go, what? What? I'm nervous. But anyway, let me get through what I was going to do. We got a process, and the market right now is below the reference bars, and we're not buying anything new when it's below the reference bars. And you're selling off here in the last hour. And let's just go through MTI, okay? Let's just go through MTI, okay? And there's high degree of risk in volume trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, this stock right here is, let me see how to say it. This stock right here is defying all gravity. I didn't know about this stock until 2 weeks ago, and I've been day trading it and all that, but the stock today went up to 109, okay? 109. And right now it's at 102, coming down a little bit. But again, I knew nothing about it. Then I started watching it, and this is going to be one of the stocks that I think we can make some money off of this year. But I want to introduce it, make sure everybody sees it. We made a nice option play on it. Who made that option play on this one? Went to cash on it, but we're going to go back in a little bit. What'd you think? I know some of y'all made money off this stock. We had a great option play. Made good money, Dave. Good money. Oh, Patricia did really good. 1,280 bucks. Jim held some and made even more today. Yeah, it was a heck of a run. And, you know, a stock that goes over 100, y'all know my rule, right? If it goes over 100, it usually goes to 110. Look at the high today. Sucker went to 109.50. Always remember that rule when you got you a playing stock like this, okay? Way to go, Alfonso. Anyway, this is the stock I wanted to highlight. After I found out about it, I started watching it on MTI. Boy, MTI, gave you a scholarship on this one stock on 100 shares, didn't it? Look at that. Pretty amazing. Hey, Minnie, we're, I guess, fat, dumb, and happy. And everybody see that big bar right there? If you take the high of that bar, John, given the high of that bar, that will be your turn number. That if you got higher than that, then they're probably past this budget stuff. What is that number, Jonathan?
59.48. I guess we could call it 59.45.
Yeah, 59.45. Not that far from here if it gets going, but keep that in mind. That's something big that might happen either tonight or tomorrow or whatever.
In fact, Tom, that's the year open, 59.49. How about that?
There you go. Way to go, Michael, on your play using MTI. Great job. Probably made a nice move on gold. Way to go. Anyway, that's NASDAQ. Same story. What's the given the high there? That'll be the turn on the NASDAQ. These are numbers that you learn by watching today. These highs on that break bar, once you get higher than that, we skyrocket.
That's around 21,500 or so on the NASDAQ.
Yeah. That's the NASDAQ. Skip, they're posted in, Jonathan, you post the weekly newsletter in the trade room, correct? Or in the Telegram room, right?
So we've got the Telegram channel for the weekly trade letter, and every time, we actually had two postings this week. One for the weekly trade letter on Monday afternoon, we post an update saying, "Hey, the weekly trade letter is ready," and head over to One Click Trading and find it in your membership area. And the second posting this week, you had a special report, I think it was yesterday, on Home Depot, and that was also posted to your One Click membership area for the
Let me give you some advice on Home Depot. I think in June, once we get to June's, the first 3 days, once it goes higher in those 3 days, you ought to be buying Home Depot. Just write that down. Don't buy it now. I want you to watch it. I put it out on a special report. I've had two special reports in there. One was Bitcoin, and then the second one was this special report I did on Home Depot that basically, but the way, what I'm looking for at this stage is after the first 3 days of June, once we go higher in those 3 days, I want to get long Home Depot. I think for the summer, maybe an August expiration. Okay. Got a couple things. I think Home Depot is really going to be good. Okay. That's Home Depot.
Yeah, and the reports are in the One Click membership area. You should have an access point for T-Buzz weekly trade letter. Just search your services for T-Buzz weekly trade letter if you're part of the program, and everything is posted there for you. A nice collection.
Yeah, we see something's not fitting because I look at the room. We've sold 350 of those newsletters in 2 weeks, and there's only, I think, what, John, 190 in there, right? So if some people are not coming over to the room, you got to come over to the room.
Yeah, and the initial welcome email after you get in gives you a link to the Telegram channel, but you also find a link to Telegram inside One Click from your membership area inside One Click. So a couple different routes to get there.
We let Jeffrey know if he's not here, send Patricia the link or she got signed up. Okay, you got to be in that room.
Yeah, I'll handle Patricia. I'll reach out to you, Patricia.
Okay.
So anyways, that's NASDAQ. Let's go to the Dow.
Okay. The Dow's having a lot of trouble with that at United Health stock. That stock's been plunging for a greater part of a month. Uh, if you look at the Dow, I typically don't trade the Dow very much, but if you look at it, it's got a lot of work to do to get back above its even the short term on the Dow. All right.
Okay, 30-minute chart on crude oil.
A little word on crude oil. You got to be a little careful there because there's the word out there on the street is that Israel is prepping to attack. Whether they do or not, but then I heard also that they were going to have a meeting this Friday, what I heard. So you got to be a little careful on being short crude at this stage. Iran, Israel thinking about blowing the nuclear stuff out of the water. There's gold. It's coming back, topped out at 35.09. It's been correcting ever since we went to the sidelines. I still would wait. What I would wait for is a trigger number off the 3-day high in June. We're so close to June. That's what I do. Yeah, and crude oil's already rolled over, Dave, to July. We're in July now. Gold, gold is in a big consolidation. I think I'd lay off of it right now. Typically, August is a good seasonally time for gold, but right now I would lay off and let's just get through using our numbers and stuff for that.
Okay, after gold, we have silver.
Okay.
And then bonds.
Look at bonds. Everybody look at bonds. I mean, they just fell out of bed today. And that's obviously when that happens, you see the interest rate market, you see them talking about interest rates. I don't think interest rates are the issue. I think that's just a short-term deal. I think right now we got to get this bill out of the House into the Senate's hands, okay? Polly, we're going to wait till tomorrow morning. If the reference bar is not positive on RB3, we'll exit out, okay? Everybody understand? On that SPY trade, we'll wait till tomorrow morning. First 30 minutes. If it's positive, we'll stay with it a little bit longer. If it's negative, we just get out and move on. Okay?
Right, Bitcoin futures.
All right, folks, you've heard me talk about Bitcoin before it made the new high, that it's going to 125,000. I don't know how it's going to get there, but I did put on a couple Bitcoin plays today in a couple programs. I did put a couple Bitcoin plays on. iBit was one, and one of my favorites is that MSTU. It's a mover and shaker, but I did put that one on today, both of those. On Bitcoin, I think we're going higher. 125, that's my target.
Next up is MSTU.
You can see when I bought it, it was up there in the zone, that green arrow, and then it turned south. During that time period, everything turned south, but I think we're fine because if you look at the long term on it, looks good. We just need a little stabilization. You'll see it pop back up real quick. That's MSTU. I've made a lot of money on MSTU since I started trading it. It is volatile though. You gotta, when you get on that horse, you gotta be prepared to see some volatility. MSTU.
And here's another Bitcoin stock, IBIT.
Now this is a little bit more stable, more along the lines of, I would say this is more along the lines of Bitto. It's more stable. You can see it was really rocking and rolling when the sell-off came, but it's a lot more stable than MSTU. I like this play. I have this play in my account. I think it's going to be fine.
How about Tesla?
All right, let's look at Tesla. Tesla was on its way to really looking great today, and then it started selling off, and now we're down here at 337. It's just fine time. This stock's going higher on the long term, and I would say that we probably are to just keep our eye on it as we, get out of this month. Polly, I would wait if you're out. Let's wait till we get a positive reference bar or a positive day back on MSTU before we jump in and nibble again. Okay.
All right, after Tesla, we had Palantir.
Now, all the stocks in the AI Association, I call them the brothers and the sisters, they sold off with the big bar. They were all looking good, and they'll look good again. They're very bullish long term, but on the short term, they are in that zone of being patient.
And CoreWeave.
I'm looking for a place. I'm out of it right now. I want to get back in it. Maybe it's tomorrow morning. Maybe it's late today. Maybe it's tonight. But this stock hadn't showed any signs that it's going to roll over, even with the market. It's really ignoring what I would say all the news that affects the general market. But right now, you don't need to be buying it until you get a little bit of stabilization in here. Clearly, my first mouse move, once they do the tax bill, will be to buy this stock. There's a lot of money in this stock left to go this year. For it to move like that is a new star on the dance floor. CoreWeave. Remember those initials? I think they already had their earnings and they're bullish. TQQ, wow, what a market. I'm highlighting it because if you think about it, let me give you a number on the TQQ. Anybody want this number? If it gets above, you could buy it. 69.11. 69.11. Gets above it this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, I'm going to buy it. That's TQQ.
All right, here's the SQQQ. And this is the last chart we had to look at today.
Okay. Now look, it went opposite of TQQ on that bill, but I would look for two things. Everybody see that 2376 number on the SQQQ? Everybody see that? Once it breaks that, then we probably have a turn in the market. This MTI is just fantastic for these type days. Fantastic, I'm telling you. So right now, we keep our hands in our pocket. We evaluate this news. They keep promising they're going to get this bill done Tonight, I don't know about that. We'll see. If they do, you got to be prepared. Listen to this, if you're in my TNT and it happens, I will come out in TNT and let you know. I'll also make a posting in the futures market if possible, if I'm up when that happens. Okay. If I see what I think is a breakthrough, I don't know, Polly. I got to be on alert. I'm on alert for you. I'm working for you. If you're in my TQQ or in my TNT, if you get a posting, you know it's serious because I'm watching this market tonight. I'll be back at 8, and then we're good. Yeah, we booked a lot of profits, Ingrid. So now, and I'll probably watch futures up to 10 o'clock tonight, Polly. 10 o'clock my time. I just want to, let me tell you, my guess, and this is always the way they always do it where they can have the biggest impact. And the biggest impact happens if they do it before everybody goes to bed. I mean, why is that? Because they got to go make their trades before they tell us. And you figured that's the way Congress works? Those guys don't get to be multimillionaires, but know it any more than you do. The only thing they have is what we call execution advantage. Execution advantage, in other words, hey, the bill's going to pass. Hey, buy me about 10 of those S&Ps. Oh, yeah, buy me this, buy me this, buy me that. I can see it happening. I bet you they evaporate once that bill passes. Where do I go? They went to call their broker or put an order in. They know what they're doing. I don't have any facts other than I just envision that's what happens. Yeah, Bruce says he's always wondered why they like to vote at 1. Yeah, they like to get you in there about 9 or 10 tomorrow. That's why we get up early. Yeah, Michael says all you gotta do is look at the book. Hey, all you gotta do is look at their bank accounts to know I'm telling you the truth, right? I mean, can you believe how much is Nancy Pelosi worth? Anybody know what her net worth is? Yeah. Michael said 160 million. You think she's smart enough to make 160 million? I don't. Crooked enough, but not smart enough. Anyway, let's be ready to go. Jonathan, we can take a break. We got any other slides? What we got?
Yeah, we're going to take a break and I think come back live and show the other features of MTI. We've looked at some 30-minute charts. We're going to show the other features of MTI by DTI, I think.
You want to show them before we take the break?
Sure, I can do that.
Let's show them before we take the break. That way people that might want to get it would have time to get it and have it in use tonight.
Okay, let me do this. All right, so should be actively showing our set of MTI charts, which is the daily chart, bigger picture along the left, and then the 30-minute chart along the right. You can see here we went through, well, I'll change it to TQQQ since we just talked about that. But we went through how TQQQ has fallen below the 2 MTI lines on the short term. But if we refer over to the longer term, we can see here we've been in a buy signal ever since early May, and we're a solid 10 points above that buy signal at this point. Been as high as closer to
63.84. Is that the number? I'm trying to see what that number is. 63.84 is the top white line.
Yeah, the top white line is 63.04 actually. Yep. But the way the MTI indicator works, it goes right on your Thinkorswim platform. And the goal is obviously to get you long or short on a swing basis if you're looking to swing trade, or on a short-term basis if you're looking to trade a short term. And really, you can keep it pretty simple. If price gets above the two MTI lines, that's bullish. If price gets below the two MTI lines, that's bearish on either chart you look at. On the daily chart, we've got the little green boxes that say buy when the stock gets above the two MTI lines. And also, the monthly open is another key indicator that Tom teaches. We actually saw the value of paying attention to those key opens. So actually, yesterday the market S&P came down to the weekly open and bounced off of that number. Today, the yearly open was respected, and they hit resistance at the yearly open. So the yearly open, monthly open, weekly open, day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out. We see the value of paying attention to those numbers that Tom teaches, really every single day. And there's several instances I just mentioned this week. So that all is incorporated into the MTI indicator, which is again on your Thinkorswim platform. And what you're looking at here is our chart setup. Daily on the left, 30-minute on the right. That's only part of the feature, though. We have another really neat inclusion with it. We call it the opportunity scanner, which if you look at the TQQQ daily chart, that's in a buy signal. So on the scanner, if we were looking at the TQQQ, it would have a green box and it would say it's in a buy signal above that 6304 number that Tom pointed out. So that's what the scanner does. You can quickly sort through any kind of watch list that either you create or one that Thinkorswim already has for you. Like right now, I'm looking at the NASDAQ 100. And it's going to tell you what's long in green, what's short in red. It has bright green and bright red boxes for anything that's new today. We've got some new shorts today, Apple being one of them. And then we even tell you what's getting close. So 2GO-S is something that's getting short, close to getting short, or 2GO-L is something a stock getting close to going long. So a really cool opportunity scanner that we have on here, included with MTI by DTI as well. Carol, I can help you get the scanner on there. Just shoot me an email, Rogue DTI Trader. You probably already have it. In fact, if I've worked with you in the past, we've got it working for you. You might just need to have a quick session to get it all functioning again for you. Michael says he day trades with MTI by DTI. He narrows it down to the 5-minute. That's the good thing about this, the 30-minute chart. You can put it on hourly. You can do 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Everything's going to readjust for you based on your time frame. And so it's really we use 30 minutes, of course.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about it. No matter what type trader you are, you can adjust it to your time frame. It's really that's a pretty neat feature, I think. Very easily to do, too.
I tell you what I'll do, folks that have MTI by DTI tomorrow afternoon at my afternoon training from 4:15 to 5, we will focus on this MTI by DTI and how to get your scanner showing and all that. Several people asking about that. So
yeah,
4:15 Eastern time. Right? Every Tuesday and Thursday, I talk roadmap or MTI by DTI. Yesterday, we talked about the roadmap. Tomorrow, we'll talk about MTI by DTI, 4:15 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Plus, we have recordings from each session that you can go back and review, kind of at your own pace. You can pause the recording, repeat it as needed. But I'll look forward to doing that tomorrow. And I want to show real quick, Tom, since we're discussing this, let me hop back over here. in case anybody else wants to get the MTI by DTI indicator. And be sure to be there tomorrow morning or afternoon, excuse me, at 4:15 if you do for some training. Tom, before you know it, we'll be down, or I'll be down in your neck of the woods for Sawgrass. We'll have the whole team down there, and I'm sure that we'll be talking a lot of roadmap and a lot of MTI by DTI. Should be fun.
Hard to believe it's that time of year, isn't it?
I know it. Time flies. We're going to take a 10-minute break and come back to a live market.
Yeah, folks, this is one of the necessary tools that you need. I'm telling you, I've got all these screens, but it occupies a good part of one of my screens with all these tools from MTI, the roadmap and it together. Man, powerful, powerful tools. Powerful, I'm telling you. All right, we're gonna be back in about 10 minutes. Look at a real market. All right, Jonathan, why don't we go take a look-see at the market? Just run through E-mini, NASDAQ, a couple stocks, CoreWeave, and see what it's telling us here.
All right, let's see.
Look what JD wrote. Read what JD wrote.
JD. I repost that from JD. Thanks, JD.
Thanks, JD.
Right time, I think I switched back over to the MTI charts. You see that?
Yep, I see it.
We'll narrow it down to just the 30-minute and cycle through, starting with the S&P.
All right, there's E-mini right there. If you look at the E-mini, what I look at when I see this chart, I look up there and say, where's that top white line? Thanks, Mark. And John, why don't you call out that number where they can write that down?
59.25 is the top white line.
Yeah, that's going to be your resistance point if it does rally, and would probably tell you that 59.30 is the big number, right? Isn't that what we? Yeah, 59.30 is where we open the week, right?
That is the weekly open, and then you got 49, which is the monthly open, or yearly open, excuse me.
Yeah, from 25 to 55 is your resistance. That's where you got to get through. Yeah, 59.30 was my pivot. But I'm looking at it, that's where that white line comes in, which would be shocking if this market made it back to that. I mean, that would catch a lot of shorts paying up to get out, okay? A lot of shorts. All right? That's the mini. Look at the NASDAQ.
Okay, we got the NASDAQ futures 30-minute.
Yeah, NASDAQ needs to take out the first white line and then the second, okay? Second means all clear.
Yeah, and those numbers are 21,289 first and 21,378 second.
All right, let's look at a couple stocks. We'll wrap it up.
Okay,
Let's look at CoreWeave.
CoreWeave.
Wow. When you got a horse like this, when you got a horse like this, you got to pay attention. And I'm paying attention on CoreWeave. They haven't started trading at 24 hours yet, but they traded in external and in early morning. But anyway, keep your eye on this stock, CoreWeave. The next thing, let's look at TQQ. We'll wrap it up.
Okay.
What's that white line at, Jonathan?
The bottom white line is 69.32 and the top white line 70.24.
Yeah, just above 70.24, we're off to the races. I want to thank everybody for being here. Get your MTI. Get your MTI. Tonight's Wednesday. I'll be back at 8. Let's see how this baby closes. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.